and I got it from them, I think, and I read it, and I thought it was really funny, and you know, just to read a script that's actually good and funny is such a rarity. There's just like not much good stuff, so when you read something good, you really remember, and then Ruben got attached, and then, you know, the part of Dwayne, I mean, that had to be McBride. It was so written for him, and he signed up, and then I auditioned, and then the other pieces fell into place with this guy and Swardson, and yeah, it hopefully turned out well. I think it did.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Was it kind of funny when you kind of get offered a movie and you say we're going to be in a movie with Danny McBride and Nick Swardson, and then, oh, but you're only going to be in like 2 scenes with them? Because I know Nick is someone that you've really admired for a long time.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed to then, you know, see that I'm only going to be in 1 scene with them, but it turned out to be for the best, because it was just hard to not laugh when I was with them. They were so funny together, and yeah, you kind of imply. I used to love. I mean, I still do, but when I was very young, I was like obsessed with Nick Swardson, and so kind of just being in the same room with him makes me laugh, and my character wasn't supposed to because he put a bomb on my body.
Now, this is like the second movie you've been in, you and Danny McBride have been in, but not together.
Yeah, we keep being in movies, and then the world will explode if we're in the scene together, I guess. But yeah, no, again, people were always telling me, like, oh man, you're doing that movie with McBride, you guys will be hilarious together. Perhaps we would, but...
we never actually met the man. Well, let's talk, we talked about to this bomb being in most of the scenes that you're in, and how you kind of adjusted your performance to display that. Even when we couldn't see it, it was there, like you knew it was there.
Yeah, it's really helpful because, you know, a lot of times, well, I mean, always when you're acting, you're using your imagination to try to kind of embody so many things that are not there with you. You're in a very contrived setting, on a movie set with lights and other people who are not in the movie, and the bomb was like kind of a helpful thing to have this like heavy thing on my body all the time that we filmed in the summer, so it was very hot and this thing was very heavy, and so I was sweating. I had all these kind of real world experiences that I would otherwise have to you know, imagine, so it kind of helped create that constant fear.
Your character had a bomb on his chest the whole movie? That was not. No, I think for me, I felt like, you know, these guys have these characters have such a history together that sure, obviously there would be the initial scenes where we're really dealing with the bomb thing, but eventually you kind of reset to your normal dynamic. You can't constantly be in the state of addressing the bomb, and so I figured they would kind of reset to their original kind of dynamic eventually, which is how I played it, which hopefully wasn't a failure.
Well, Nick,
he's in his car alone all the time, and I think he ends up like dismissing other people, and so I thought like, yeah, he probably wouldn't engage in that kind of stuff either. And also because he's depressed, so he's not like interested in interacting with other people.
Right. Both times I've seen the film, that gets a pretty big laugh. That one.
It's an in-joke.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, man there.
I wondered, did you actually have the vest put on you immediately when you started filming, just so that you were used to the weight to it and how to move in it, or did you have like some sort of like weighted vest so you get used to it? Because I know that like a lot of when you're in a lot of plays or a lot of movies, they actually make you wear a lot of the stuff that would be constricting to your body usually. So.
Right. She was asking about the vest. Yeah, we started out with this very heavy vest, and what happened was it was so hot when we were filming the movie that I would sweat so much that it would ruin the costume. So they ended up switching, like really just for the last quarter of the movie, to a vest with like ice packs instead of a TNT, fake TNT, and I didn't like it because it didn't feel right. So it was just kind of a difficult prop to work with, but helpful nonetheless. It just screwed up all the costume people's jobs.
How many months did I train? I mean, there was a bunch of scenes where I had my shirt off and my chest and abs just looked fantastic. Those are on the cutting room floor, unfortunately. But rest assured, underneath that button-down were fantastic abs and chest muscles. Our action scenes weren't that grueling, really. I mean, it's like one tiny fight scene, and, you know, we didn't go on the Jason Statham regimen or anything like that.
Yeah, back there.
Yeah, I did more driving than one might on a movie like this, because Ruben, who directed the movie, wanted it to have like a very natural and classic sense for the car, classic style for the car scenes, which means like not a lot of green screen, not a lot of special effects, to actually have practical effects is what they call it. So, for example, I would drive on a road, we would just block off a stretch of road and have 20 stunt drivers as the other cars, and then I could weave in and out of them as I wanted, and they all knew to kind of give me space, and they just, you know, put a camera on a car and just film the whole thing. So I ended up doing a lot more than some would normally do. And it ends up looking, if not explicitly, unconsciously to an audience, I think it ends up looking more real.
Well, it kind of depends on how he edits it. Because he could edit it one way and it would be very funny. He could do it the other way. So yeah, I mean, that's not always cut and dry with him. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the diversion. Yeah.
Aziz, I know you made your millions early on Amazon, that AdWords thing you had going.
No. It's also such an obscure thing.
I remember you talking about that on that thing with Louis C.K., but what was your guys'
I don't think that thing exists. What thing with Louis C.K.?
The Louis C.K.'s friend, he got in a fight, you did an hour-long thing on the radio with him.
Do you think I'm the guy from Community? I was just making a joke because I don't remember what he's talking about. What's your question? Sorry.
About your guys' early career, like terrible jobs. Like, who was your pizza driver ever in your career?
Terrible jobs.
Actually, the director of this movie was a pizza driver in two different instances, in two different towns. So I think that's why I like the script. But no, I've done musical theater since I was 10 years old. maybe that in its entirety is a terrible job.
I work at Wendy's drive-thru right now.
That movie, there was, I think, almost nothing improvised. Yeah, the script for that movie, if you can read it, if you're interested in reading scripts, is astounding.
It's a really awesome movie. You should see it. Roger Goddard. He's amazing.
It's the first thing I think I ever saw you.
Yeah. That was the first movie, right?
Yeah. And the writing was so good, and the other actor in that, Campbell Scott, if you guys don't know him here, he's such a wonderful actor, and speaks in the same kind of very quick style, and the script was so wonderful. So there was really nothing with that, but nor did you didn't want to kind of change it. It was so specifically written.
So you haven't done a lot of improv since then, though?
No, I like to. Like Ruben, I did this movie with him, and Zombieland, there was a lot of improvisation on. You know, when it calls for it, we do it. And because Ruben didn't write those movies, whereas the director of that movie, Roger Goddard, did write it. Sometimes if the director has written their movie, they're maybe a little more specific about sticking to the script, whereas Ruben hires comedic actors who write, and he didn't write those scripts, so it makes sense that he's a little more open to actors improvising.